Hey everyone, in this video we're going to show you one of our favorite hip mobility exercises for groin strains. Hey everyone, my name is Sebastian, this is Desiree.
Hi everyone.
We're part of locally world famous chiropractors in Costa Mesa, California. Now, just to make sure you guys have a reference point of where we're talking about before we actually go forward is, we're talking about groin strains right into here. If it travels down a little bit further, sometimes that's common, but not all the time. But usually up into here, it's worse when sitting crisscross applesauce like Desiree is, or even getting in and out of cars or sitting for prolonged periods of time. So this can work for some of those types of cases. So why don't you coach me through the exercise?
Sure.
And we'll give them some options of how to make it harder and easier.
Great. So here we are. Sebastian's going to be starting in what we call a quadruped position. So shoulders are stacked over his elbows down here. I like that he just pushed himself up nice and tall, so that's already creating a good starting foundation. Similarly, hips are stacked over the knees, and the knees are about hip width apart. Feet are just kind of hanging out. That might be something that we come back to later on if you have difficulty with stability or any knee pathology. So the exercise we're going to do today is called a fire hydrant. A lot of times people use this one to strengthen the glutes, and that's essentially what we're going to be doing here, but we also want to make sure we're getting you in a good position to also work on actively lengthening through the recovery process of a former groin strain, right? So Sebastian is going to start off in this position. He's going to be breathing into his core, and then with this front hip here, can you just pick that knee off the ground? And let's go ahead and lift your knee out to the side like you're a dog peeing on a fire hydrant.
Is that why they call it that?
That's why they call it that, right? So he's doing a really good job of keeping his hips nice and level as we're going through this. You notice he's bringing the knee up. If he can tolerate this, he can go ahead and slowly bring it back down. Okay, and then we're gonna work to bring that out again. So just starting off with repetitions is a good place to start, right? If this is too difficult for you, I just want you to go to what you can comfortably, work on a nice strong foundation, holding that position at the top, maybe just building some nice good strength there. My favorite saying is always toasty buns. That's always like the goal of everything we do here, it feels like. So once the buns get nice and toasty, you're in a good place. If you're someone that's looking for more progression, meaning to make this a little bit harder, he can add that knee out element. He can even add a little kickback element as he comes up and around. You feel that right there? Mm-hmm. And then bring it back down. But the name of this game is always slow. So a lot of times people like to speed up the process and they go faster and rep it out. Yeah, don't do that. Just go slow and steady wins the race here. You're going for the hair, so you're gonna bring the knee out slow, bring it back slow. That way we can work the glute through all of the fibers. But more importantly, if we're working on that groin region, you're also making sure that you're exposing that hip to some ranges without doing too much too soon. Okay. So I like to start off with something like that.
So how do you order your In-N-Out hamburger? Toasty buns.
Toasty buns, yeah. An animal style with all the extra good stuff too. So I keep poking up here with Seb because I did notice that he's starting to dump down, and that's pretty common. So you want to make sure that you don't fall into that trap. You want to stay active through the upper body as you go through this. That is actually going to create tension here, which gives you more stability through the core. Sometimes when people do this, they lack that stability. Can you just show me what happens when their like hips and pelvis rock? And when that happens, that actually puts more pressure on the lower back. So if you have groin stuff and low back stuff, now you're creating a position where your body might be in more discomfort rather than good.
So are you okay with me starting with my knees together? Because I feel like it's a little easier to do that. Or do they have to be wide and stacked over the hips?
I think if you're just getting started and you feel like you're gonna fall over all the time, starting with the knees together is totally fine. And the progression is always going to be, challenging your body maybe outside your center a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah, you okay with that?
Yeah. I feel like my shoulders are getting a workout too. So.
Yeah, they probably will. Yeah. We like 2-for-1 deals here.
Yeah. So great. Yeah, so that's one mobility exercise we like to use. But there's endless different types, and as I mentioned, my shoulder was getting a little tired, so maybe if your shoulder's too tired on this, there's other variations or different exercises you can use. So if you guys are looking for help, we can help you. We have virtual and in-person services, and we certainly perform assessments to figure out what is the right exercise for you, because this is just a guess at this point. So reach out to us in the link description below for the video. We also have a free webinar in the corner which covers different types of hip diagnoses and categories that you probably haven't actually heard of yet. So it's very useful, good use of your time to check that out. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.